Episode 29 of the Marketing Life podcast. This is Taylor Timothy, your host, and today we have a special guest on this podcast. His name is John Saunders. This guy is a Facebook, e-commerce, Shopify guru. He's been in the game for a while. You guys are going to hear some stuff from him that I didn't even know about. So some of the key points he talks about in this podcast is making sure you're going after your target audience, making sure you're going after the right people, making sure you have a great product. Me and him discussed great products go far. Okay products don't work online. One thing I took away from John is consistency. This guy has been trying for a long time, and he finally broke through and started crushing it. He drops a few little secrets on live video and how he's using and leveraging live videos for his clients that are in the e-commerce space. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Okay, guys, so we have John Saunders on the podcast today. So, John, tell us your backstory of how you got into online marketing.
Well, I actually, back in the early 2000s, I don't know if I'm a little older to be an online marketer, but I'm in my mid-40s, and in the early 2000s, when everything was popping online or starting to, I got a email from Frank Kern. I don't know if you've heard of Frank Kern, Taylor.
I've actually heard of Frank Kern.
But he was, back in the day, he was kind of the pioneer in online marketing, and he had this course out about Google pay-per-click, and I bought the course. It was like $20 or something, and I just became absolutely fascinated with the idea of being able to sell products to people around the world. And from then on, it's just been a love affair. So that was in early 2000s. And then, I'd always dabbled in online marketing. Again, I don't know if you or your listeners remember the Warrior Forum back in the day.
I don't. I love hearing about those old times though. Just cause I've talked to a couple of guys before, and it's just like, I've never even heard of those things, but it's great to hear about it. So it's kind of interesting.
It's crazy. So we had the Warrior Forum, and, people would sell their products, and a lot of the big marketers you guys, we see out there got their start in the Warrior Forum. And so, I was just always in the Warrior Forum trying to do stuff, but I was married, I had kids, so it was hard to really focus all the attention on it. And so eventually, fast forward to 2013 or actually 2014, and the Teespring craze started. I don't know if you remember that, Taylor.
I do recall hearing about the Teespring. Isn't it like tons of people started selling t-shirts?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So a guy named Don Wilson, who actually now owns Gear Bubble, who got his start on the Warrior Forum, was launching this big course about how to make all this money selling shirts on Teespring. And he had, all these people that had made all this money doing it. And so, my wife, poor thing, I bought so many courses in the past, and she was kind of, not fed up, but just knew that I was just going to dabble with things. But for some reason, this course on Teespring it just resonated with me. And it was a bigger investment for us at the time to buy this course. And so I talked my wife into letting me buy that course. And I started selling t-shirts online, started with $500 for ads. And a year later, we'd sold 20,000 shirts online using Facebook ads. So
crushing it.
Crushing it. Yeah, the old online marketing war cry, I guess. Yeah, so that's how I got my start, and then from there we expanded off to Shopify, selling products on Shopify using Facebook and advertising. And as you probably know, Taylor, when I say Facebook advertising, I'm talking about the paid Facebook ads. A lot of people do the organic stuff, but I focus on paid Facebook advertising, and grew our Shopify business, and now we've expanded even more where we're helping other e-commerce businesses grow their business and sell products using Facebook ads and Instagram ads now. So yeah.
That's awesome. So basically you just dabbled for a long time, and then next thing you know, you started getting into Facebook ads then.
Yep. It changed everything for me. And
Gotcha.
I think, sorry. Dabbling I was a part-time dabbler. And so, and so since 2015, I've been doing this full time. So.
That's awesome. So basically you're an expert, you could say, in Shopify and like Facebook paid ads then.
Yeah. That's what I've learned to do really well. And, I would consider myself an expert on Facebook ads. We've run thousands and thousands of Facebook campaigns. So
that's awesome. So what would you say your biggest takeaway is from these actual campaigns? We're going off script a little bit, but like if you had to say like top 5 things that Facebook advertisers need to be doing with e-commerce stores, or top 3 or whatever, like what are your biggest, like most important things?
Well, the first answer I'm going to give you it's not going to really relate to Facebook advertising.
Okay.
But
that's totally fine.
I found this to be absolutely 100% true, is that you have to have a good product.
Amen.
The product is everything. You know, it's funny because I have clients that will approach me and say, you know, what do I need to be doing to kill it on Facebook? And I always start at looking at their product. Do people want your product? And so we've launched literally thousands of products. And it always comes down, do people want your product? And so that's number 1 in my book. Number 2, I guess, would be you have to test. You have to continually, try it. And I think a lot of times people get a little nervous or scared because it does cost money to run ads. And so they want everything to be perfect before they actually go out and test. And I heard in another episode of yours that, you know, and it's so true, you can read so many courses, you can do so much research, but you're never going to learn until you actually go and do it. And there's no, I mean, there's good courses out there, but there's nothing like actually doing it. And I think the third thing is just track your results, you know. Just know what your metrics are. For us, obviously with e-commerce, we look heavily at cost per acquisition, but you have to know those metrics and live by those. Don't be emotionally attached to, the product sometimes. You know, we launch products for some clients and a lot of times what we do is we have if it's a startup company, we do a 2-month research phase, you know, and sometimes we find that the product needs work after tracking the results. And so you have to be able to listen to the data, track the results, and go where the data takes you, I guess.
All I can say to everything you just said is literally amen. Like you hit everything on the head. I know in one of my earlier podcasts, I don't know if you ever listened to that episode, but basically we started marketing for a company, their product was crap, and we told them their product was crap, and they said, we don't care, we need to just get all the inventory off the shelves. A couple years later, they close shop. You know, it's like
exactly.
Just amen. I'm not going to talk anymore. Amen. So
well, it's just I think there's this misconception out there, and we run into it a lot. There's all these gurus saying you have to do this to optimize your pages. You know, you hear about pixel optimization and all this, and it's important. I'm not trying to minimize it, but the bottom line is if your product sucks, there's no like marketing wizardry we can do to sell your product if people don't want it. You can't put lipstick on a pig, as they say, right?
Yep.
And so it makes our jobs as marketers a lot easier when we're working with a product that basically sells itself. And so we just connect the dots. We just put a great product in front of the right people, and that's where the magic happens. So.
Yep, totally agree to that. My theory is a bad product, your marketing will never work, but a good product, you can get successful and make it successful, but an amazing product, you can have crappy marketing and it'll still work and sell. So
that is so true.
So awesome. Well, thank you for sharing those tips there with this audience. So next thing, we're going to go back on script here. So what's a marketing campaign that failed you, and what did you actually learn from it?
I've been thinking about this because, the nature of, especially when I was doing Teespring, is we would literally launch, like, when we were really ramping things up, 50 product designs a week, and about 10 to 20% of those would be successful. And so there was inherent failure in the process. So I failed all the time, and I think I just got real comfortable with it because the successes would always make me more money. But I want to share a failure in a kind of a different way. Going back to my Teespring days, I had a full-time designer just cranking out designs, and he cranked out this design for me, and I shelved it. I was like, I don't know. I don't think this is going to do anything, right? And so I shelved it for a few weeks until we had a slower week where we needed some designs. And so I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and launch this thing. Well, the thing actually started to sell really good, really well. It like took off. We sold hundreds of them, made thousands of dollars on the shirt design. And so the failure there was failure to test. I could have made more money had I launched that product sooner, and so failure is, we hear it on all these podcasts and stuff. Failure is just data to me. And that taught me a huge lesson back then that I need to test everything and not assume, what the market wants sometimes. And I've seen that with clients too, where I'll go, well, I'm not sure if this product, and that's the other, we talk about product is everything. Sometimes it could be a great product that solves a problem, but we're just not sure. And testing it always sheds light on it. And so that was a huge turning point for me where I said, I really do need to test. I really need to be not scared to fail on these products that I'm launching.
Amen. Yeah, my opinion is if an online marketer ever says they've never failed, they're not doing online marketing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true.
Because every single campaign I feel like I've launched, there's been some failures, and obviously there's been some successes. Some ads perform better than others. Like, we're always failing as online marketers, in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, that's so true. The other lesson on there is, especially with paid advertising, this is extremely true, is that scared money never makes money. You have to be willing to put money on the line. And so I'm nothing against SEO or organic stuff, because obviously I think that's valuable. But I think to really see, and the quickest way to see if your product's viable in the marketplace is to spend money. And if you're scared to put the money on the line, you're never going to get the reward of making the big money.
Completely agree. Amen. Yeah, I'm a huge advocate of doing everything, Facebook, YouTube, SEO, email. Like, you should be doing it all the time. But I'm more of an advocate of paid ads, obviously, up front, because you're going to get faster ROI on your investment. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So awesome. Well, tell us about like your first little marketing success then. So like, why was it successful, and like, what were some of your big takeaways from that first like little glimpse of light? Like, oh my gosh, I can do online marketing. This can work.
Yeah. So actually, a year before I started doing Teespring, I launched a course on meditation, and just an online course using optimized press. This is before ClickFunnels and all that, and actually sold like $3,000 worth. And I thought that was like, man, I was just amazed by it. But the first success that really like made me think I can do this full time, and I can really, this is what I'm going to do with my life, was actually the first month of doing Teespring. So again, just going back to my backstory, I paid a lot of money for this course, and it came with a 30-day money back guarantee, right?
Correct.
And it was one of the reasons I talked to my wife and said, look, I'm going to do this for 30 days. If it doesn't work out, I basically am retiring from online marketing. So anyway, so I was like, okay, I went through the course and they had a really good Facebook group there. And I went on Fiverr, got a guy to start designing shirts for me. And the first 2 weeks I was just like, I was just not selling anything. And I was just getting worried. I'm halfway through the month here and, maybe this isn't for me. And then again, just persistence, I just kept grinding and doing it. And then the third week into my trial with this, course and also with my wife, I landed on a shirt design that actually sold 40. I sold 40 of this shirt. It was actually a shirt about Brazil. I'm actually half Brazilian. You wouldn't know it looking at me. I'm actually the whitest person you'd ever run into. But I made this t-shirt and I targeted it to Brazilians and it just started selling. And at that moment, I was like, yes, I can do this, and I can make money doing this. And the ironic thing about that is I've literally sold thousands and thousands of shirts. I've never been able to sell another Brazilian shirt. Even with all the experience I've had, I've never been able to sell another Brazilian product. And so it's just, I guess if you want to call it fate or, destiny that shirt happened when it did, it was ultimately what led me to really believe that I could do this. So.
That's awesome. So why do you feel like that was successful? Like why did it work? The product, the saying on the shirt was good and it was targeted to the right market. So going back to good product, good audience. Okay.
Obviously I've sold a t-shirt that made me 15 grand just on one t-shirt. And so it wasn't like my biggest success, but the reason it was such a success for me is because psychologically my perspective just changed. It was like, I can do this. Like if I can sell 40 of these, I can sell 1,000 of them, and it just became real to me. And that's why for me, it was the biggest success initially for me, the first success I really tasted.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. I know how that feels like when you first get into this industry and it's like, oh, it's your first little success. It's like, you feel like you just won a national championship or just won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
So that's like, I love it. So next question, John, I call this one the Grand Slam for success. So this is the one where you're like, okay, I can make a business out of this. I can do this like full time. What was your Grand Slam for success with online marketing?
Thinking about that a little bit. I have two, if that's okay. One was
you can have three if you want.
Well, I'll share one with you when I had my full-time job still, and I was doing this on the side and making way more than I was at my full-time job, which is kind of a good place to be in, I think.
Yeah, I would say that's a decent place to be in.
So it was in March of 2015, and I landed on this shirt concept. I'll tell you a little bit about it. I actually just did a search for funny sayings for teachers, and I landed on this Facebook post where it had all of these things. You're a teacher when, and it had all these different sayings, and it was shared on social like crazy. And I took that post and I gave it to my designer, and I said, "Here, I want you to make a T-shirt out of this." And it was the ugliest T-shirt we've ever created. I'm telling you. But we launched that. It really was. I should send you a link to it. I don't know why anyone would wear this thing, but it hit such a chord with those people that I think it was March or April of 2015, just that shirt was the one I was referencing earlier. We sold like $15,000 worth of product. That's what I made on it after ad spend, even just on that one shirt. And then we took that concept, you're a teacher when, and we took it to, you're a hairstylist when, you're a dance mom when, and we had like 10 of these just like blow up. And so that's when I was like, holy cow, like I'm making some serious money here. Like I think I almost made what I made at my day job the whole year in that month. And I was
Wow.
just like, yeah, it was insane. I was like, oh my gosh, like at that point, I was just like, if something happens to my job, I know I can take care of myself. So that's, I guess, would be my like first Grand Slam. The second one came in 2016 after I was doing this full time. And, I, interestingly enough, this Grand Slam happened after I had a really stressful product situation with another product where, it wasn't coming from China. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but
Okay.
I was actually kind of questioning myself, like, can I really do this? Because I just gone through this huge mess with another product. And it was actually, so I connected with a manufacturer that has a license for like pro sports teams, and they had this really awesome, called a captain, but it's almost like a flowing shirt, and it had all these different teams on it. And I launched that thing, and I had access to like all the NFL teams, like majority of the college teams. And I launched this thing, and it just like blows up. And in 30 days, literally, I make 6 figures in a month selling this product, just this one product. And I would have sold a lot more, but they ran out of inventory. And so that right there just shot my confidence to the stratosphere. I was like, I can sell anything now. And it was just, I can't tell you how surreal it was to wake up in the morning and I was like, I'd wake up in the morning and I was making more than I did for 2 weeks of work at my other job, my old full-time job. And so that right there just exploded my confidence. And I guess that would be like my Grand Slam, if I had to say the biggest one. So
That's awesome. So what are some of the failures that happened during these Grand Slams though?
During the Grand Slams?
Yeah, because like a lot of times, like even
yeah.
like my Grand Slam for success, yes, it was super successful, but there's definitely some failures along the way.
Oh yeah. So, for the Shopify product this captain we were launching, well, before I was so used to selling on Teespring where they have an unlimited supply. They'll ship everything for you. Logistically, it was very smooth. Well, with this product that we did 6 figures with in a month, logistically, it was kind of not a nightmare, but we did have clients that were, upset because of some of the shipping times. And then just trying to manage the inventory with the distributor. It was a headache, man. I don't know if that's a failure because, I don't know if I failed at it, but it was definitely, a trial where I had to try to figure out the logistics of buying inventory and making sure things were getting shipped on time. And, I know we fell short with some of our customers, in that
Gotcha.
time frame.
Yeah, no, I asked that question just because it's like a lot of times people look at these successes and they're like, everything was so smooth. And it's like,
Right?
no, it was not. Like, yes, we were successful, but we had a lot of things that we had to learn along the way. So.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I never, I was doing, and I actually set it up to be drop shipped. I had a third party drop shipping company that was drop shipping it, but I never had to deal with like inventory control and product, like projecting how much product to buy. And so, I probably could have made a little bit more money, because I could have bought more. I didn't really trust myself to buy a lot more product in advance. And so what happened is they sold out before I could get my hands on more products. So I could probably have made more money. And so it's never a smooth road. Yeah. We're, especially on Facebook and Instagram, there's all these guys posting their ridiculous numbers, and what they never tell you, A, is how much they spent to actually make that, and B, just the behind the scenes of what it takes to really move that kind of volume. So yeah, I appreciate that question. I think that's super important for people to know.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for sharing that Grand Slam. So John, now we're going to dive into what I call the speed round. So basically the speed round is just whatever questions come to mind or answers come to mind, feel free to answer. So the first one we're going to start off with is, what would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Don't be scared to fail. I think I was a perfectionist back then. So
awesome. What do you do for fun? So obviously you can't be doing online marketing all the time. Like, you also have, hobbies and stuff. So what do you do for fun?
I'm a huge sports fan. So going to games, I live here in Cache Valley. So going to Utah State games, going to Jazz games, watching sports. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. I moved here from Dallas, 5 years ago now. So just sports.
Awesome. I love sports too. I do like to go to those Jazz games too. So hopefully we can make it into the playoffs this year, Right.
I think so. Looking good.
So what are some updates in the industry that you have found or learned about?
Yeah. So I'm more in the social paid, arena. What I'm seeing a lot of success with clients is live video. And I think it's underutilized. So we run a lot of campaigns for clients using live video. And so if you're not doing live video right now, I think you're missing a huge opportunity. And Facebook has just flat out said that that's the direction they want to go. And so that's something that you really need to look at, is live video.
Okay. So would you be willing to break down a little bit, like what you recommend in a live video for an e-commerce store?
Yeah, just real high level. That would be a whole other podcast. But one of the things we've been able to do with clients is and this is really on Facebook. Instagram's not really built for this because you can stream on Facebook, but as far as like selling product, Facebook's platform is better. But what we've been able to do is turn Facebook live into a QVC experience, where we get people to attend a QVC style event and we pitch product on live video and make it really easy for people to buy product during the live video. So just turning the QVC style marketing into a social live stream experience.
That's awesome. I've never heard of anybody doing that, so you're definitely onto something.
Yeah, it's a huge trend. I think we're in the really early stages of it, but I have clients that literally they'll make thousands of dollars a day doing it. So it's definitely something, especially if you're in e-commerce, it's super, super important right now to learn how to do that. And this might be a little longer. I know it's a speed round, but I think it's good.
It's information, so
good. So it's important to have consistency too with it. So, you can't think you're just going to do like a live once every 2 months. I have a client that does one every week. And so it's a huge opportunity right now. It's the trend. If you look at video game streaming, everything's going streaming. So if you're a marketer, you want to look at that.
Awesome. I like that a lot. So basically, in a watered down version, you guys are using Facebook Live essentially as a webinar even.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of webinar, I think more of like, online course sales or coaching. But yeah, we use it as a QVC really. And I know the listeners can't see anything, but offline I can show you I can send you a link to one of our clients and what they're doing. But
okay.
I mean, you can use it as a webinar. It's just, I wouldn't place it as a webinar. I just say it more as a social selling experience.
Gotcha. Very interesting. Yeah. If you'll send me that link, I'll post it in the description for everyone to check out. So,
awesome.
Favorite marketing book?
It's kind of it's one of those books that I think has been used for marketing purposes, but I've just gotten a huge amount of value out of it. It's .com Secrets by Russell Brunson.
Yep.
So it's really helped me, not so much on the tactics of what to do, but the mindset of how to, put together campaigns and what the psychology behind, how to sell online. So definitely worth the read if you haven't done so.
Yeah, if you haven't read that, I say amen to that. Read all of his books. I think they're great.
Yeah, for sure.
So, favorite thing about online marketing?
I mean, to be real honest, just I'm sitting on my recliner right now, and I can work from anywhere and just have the flexibility to go or travel, do anything I want, where I want. So it's been life changing. And sometimes I think, I take it for granted. I don't have office hours, but on the other side of that, you have to learn discipline and with your time too. So, but that's my favorite part.
Amen to that one. Amen. Favorite marketing podcast?
Yeah, man, besides Marketing Life?
Yeah, besides this podcast, this is the best one ever. But
you might laugh at me, but I'm not a huge podcast person. But if I had to say, it would probably be Tim Ferriss. I know that's not real marketing, but I enjoy his stuff.
Okay. No, that's totally fine. Favorite online marketing tool?
Oh, by far it's ClickFunnels.
Okay. ClickFunnels.
It's amazing.
Okay. Why ClickFunnels?
It's just made it dead simple for people to sell product. I mean, you don't have to be technical at all. I'm actually working on a funnel right now for a client, and I'm not a programmer. And we have funnels that do, $70,000 a month. And it's dead simple to put together. It's really eliminated any excuses. And I know I'm doing a pitch for him right here, but it really has eliminated a lot of the barriers that we used to have to getting into market. There's no excuse now. Like, you literally can put a product up and sell it, and all the cart integration. It's just, I can't say enough about it. It's just been a game changer.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm not a coder either, or a programmer, so I'm all about using tools that have zero custom coding. So all websites I build and stuff, like, it's all on WordPress. It's all a specific theme I use, and there is never once been one that has crashed. So I'm all about no coding at all.
There's no reason to create, from scratch. People figure it out. They've already figured that out for you. So, just click on with the one click upsells, after cart upsells. It's just, for me, it's just been game changing for me and my clients. So
that's awesome. I'm glad that works for you. So whatever works for you guys, I'm all about using whatever works best. So,
yeah. Sure.
So what advice would you give to, like, any marketer in the world? So we're talking like a guy that's doing digital advertising. What advice would you give him?
I would just, again, just kind of talk to my 20-year-old self maybe, is don't be scared to fail. See failure as data, especially with paid advertising. You're not going to land a home run with your first campaign. I would just say be persistent, and really, if this is something you want to do, be committed to it. Don't treat it as a hobby. So I guess that would be my advice.
Awesome. Okay, diving into the next question. This is the last one. So this one's more geared towards business owners. What advice would you give them, and why?
For business owners, it depends on the kind of business, I guess. But if I'm an e-commerce, I'll just speak to that because that's my world. If I'm an e-commerce business, I would say, if I'm doing my own stuff, focus on one thing you can do well. Meaning, of course, there's a lot of different things you can do, like we mentioned, SEO, Facebook, YouTube ads. But find something that works for you, or that interests you for marketing your products. If that's Instagram, get really good at that before you dilute yourself and try to do everything else. Or I would say, we're both marketers, hire someone that does those things. Don't try to be a jack of all trades when it comes to marketing.
Amen. Amen to that one. So last question for you, John. If someone's looking to hire, someone that does e-commerce, all these different things for you, where do these people find you?
So yeah, we're actually going through some rebranding right now. So, So we're not as polished as we should be right now. This is a very recent thing in the last month or so. But you can go to quadraecom.com, and that's Quadra ecom.com. And as you'll see, it's very simple. You can schedule time to talk to us. But yeah, I don't want to do a big plug for our company, but what makes us a little different is that we work on performance based. So we win when you win. So
that's awesome. So you can do a little plug for your business. Go for it.
Yeah. So I heard an early episode with you, and I can't remember who the other guy was, about the what to look for in an agency, and I couldn't agree more. I think what sets us apart is performance based. We have skin in the game. We have low retainer fees with commissions built in because we want to win when you win, and so it's worked really well for us. It's something we've kind of transitioned to. And it's been awesome because it allows our customers to test product, without the typical, large retainers that other agencies do. So yeah.
Okay.
We really believe in what we can do for you. So.
Amen. If you guys are looking for an e-commerce guy, he is your guy. Awesome. I will tell you, just talking to you today, you know what you're doing, and I respect that.
Well, I appreciate that, Taylor. And, I thank you for bringing me on. I really don't talk too much about our story, but I hope that was, helpful. And, online marketing, we're just at the beginning, and there's just so much opportunity, and I love talking about it anytime I can. So I appreciate the time and platform to do so.
Awesome. Thank you, John, for being on the show. John Saunders crushed it, guys. If you guys didn't learn anything in that podcast, you need to go listen again and actually take some notes. So basically, like I said, target audiences. Make sure you're going after the right people, right messaging, great products. Guys, keep trying. John Saunders failed a lot, especially in the beginning. His wife wanted him to, not to buy any more courses, but he kept trying and persisting. So that's one of the big takeaways that I learned from John Saunders. And last but not least, his live video secrets of using live video for your e-commerce businesses is super important. Be consistent with it. And last but not least, guys, my course is finally finished. It is done, complete, signed, sealed, and delivered. So if you guys want to learn my process of what I'm doing online and how you guys can generate more leads and sales for your business, feel free to hit that link below, and peace.